Have you ever heard that story that sounds absurd, but in the bottom always beats that question if it is true? Today I will end the mystery and answer 7 things you always wanted to know. There is a myth that if you swallow a gum, it will be stuck in your stomach for 7 years. Is that true? No. Although it is very sticky, the gum does not stick to the walls of your stomach. If you swallow one, it will travel through your digestive system and come out whole when you go to the bathroom. That's right, you heard. The acids in your stomach are unable to digest it, but even so, do not swallow it. There are cases of people who swallowed many chewing gum at the same time and had an intestinal obstruction. So, the next time you chew a gum and swallow, you already know where it's going to come out. Have you ever wondered what a scab is? When you hurt your skin, your body sends special blood cells that cluster around the wound and form a clot, a type of natural dressing that prevents you from losing more blood. As the clot dries, it forms a brown-colored crust that protects the wound from bacteria and dirt, while cells take care of skin healing. You're probably wondering what happens if I rip off this crust. Fortunately, nothing serious. By doing this, you stop the healing process and you risk getting infected or you get a scar. So even if ripping the crust is tempting, better not to stir. She will disappear in a couple of weeks. When opening a mollusk, like an oyster, there is a small chance of finding a pearl. But how does this pearl arise? It all starts when a foreign body enters the shell. It can be something as insignificant as a grain of sand. To avoid contact with this irritating object, the oyster is covered with a viscous substance called nacre, and not just once, but several times. Over time, the mother of pearl hardens and forms a pearl. Amazing, right? So when you see a pearl jewel, remember that it was a hard job. Have you seen the saws that doctors use to remove the cast from patients who have broken a bone? How do they not hurt the skin? You may think they just take great care, but the truth is that the saw has a trick. Unlike ordinary saws, doctor saws do not rotate on their own. They just vibrate. As you can see, the blade moves side by side. These vibrations allow the cutting of rigid materials, such as plaster, and does not damage elastic materials, such as skin. What a brilliant trick, right? Now you can tell the secret of the medical saw to your friends. Do you know someone who snores like a walrus? While we sleep, the muscles of the tongue, soft palate, and larynx relax. This causes the air to not flow properly and collide with the fabric, causing it to vibrate. It is this vibration that produces the snoring. It's normal to snore from time to time, but if you do this often, you should see a doctor. And do not need to be embarrassed by the snoring. Everyone has ever snored. Have you ever eaten and felt like sneezing and the food came out of your nose? This is because your mouth, nose, and throat are connected. When you swallow, the soft palate and uvula recede and prevent food from coming out of your nose. If you sneeze or laugh right after swallowing, the pressure and air coming from your lungs is so strong that it pushes food back out through your mouth and nose. Let's admit, this is funny but also embarrassing, isn't it? Should you urinate on the sting of a jellyfish? Don't do that. It is not even recommended to urinate on a wound like this because it will cause the toxin to react and worsen the pain. Do not also use fresh water, for the water spreads more than the jellyfish's irons. The correct is to rinse with diluted vinegar, saline, or in its absence, seawater. This will cause the tentacles responsible for releasing toxins to stop. These curiosities killed your curiosity? Which one surprised you the most? Tell me in the comments. And if you want more answers to those questions that never left you alone, sign up for the channel, activate the bell, and stay tuned for the next video. See you there.